Hello everyone and welcome back to the Grand Cat channel, and today we are going to be looking at Shredder and Krang. In the previous few videos we had been looking at the Best Action, the BST EXN, Ninja Turtles, the Michelangelo, the Donatello, the Leonardo, and of course the Raphael. But now we are getting to look at our first Neca, which is going to be the Shredder and Krang box set. Now, this has skyrocketed in price since I initially bought it. I bought it when it first came out because Shredder is my favourite character, and this was the first NECA one that I bought. I think I got it for only 40, maybe even less, and now the price of it looks to be around 150 minimum. People seem to really love this Shredder. So, we are going to be unboxing them. I know that upsets a lot of people on the internet. A lot of people like to keep things boxed, but that's not what we do here. We unbox them and we let you see what they look like. We let them breathe, as Zack Ryder would say. So, on the front we have the beautiful 1987 art style of Shredder and Krang. This is actually the second release of these figures. On one side we have Shredder in his beautiful pose, and on the other side we have Krang in the Krang Walker. The first release saw Leonardo coming with Shredder on the other side, and I think it was Donatello that came with Krang. I can't be sure on which one it was, and they later released these as the two sets of Shredder and Krang, and the other release set was two of the foot soldiers, I believe. So here we go. There is the back of it. It shows you there that the turtles started being, paired together with turtles. You got two of the foot soldiers, and you also got Bebop and Rocksteady. And Bebop and Rocksteady we also have on the way, so we do have that. That is also from Wave 2 of the figures. So that is something to look forward to. So let's read the blurb that it says here. Actually, this has nothing to do with Shredder and Krang, but we'll read it anyway. After being accidentally exposed to radioactive ooze, 4 ordinary household pets are transformed into a band of wisecracking, pizza-loving, villain-dicing adolescent reptiles. Meet Leonardo, the super cool sword-wielding leader, Raphael, the jokester, hurling manholes in one-liners in rapid succession. Raphael isn't meant to be the jokester. Maybe he was in the original 1987 cartoon, but he's meant to be the aggressive one that goes off kind of on his own. Michelangelo is more of the jokester, but okay. Donatello, the brain behind the brawn, of course, yes, he did do the machines, as the intro says. And Michelangelo, the ice cream pizza gobbling party animal. Whether it's facing fierce enemies or saving humanity from near extinction, with the guidance of their sensei, these heroes in a half-shell are always ready for straight out of the sewer action. They're always ready for straight out of the sewer action? That is not an original phrase from the original series. But, okay, sure. I really like this part here. See, the 1980s logo. So that is pretty cool. The top of it also has the logo. The bottom of it doesn't really say much other than a little NECA thing. Okay, let's get into the unboxing. And immediately half the value of it the second that we cut this open, because I think even loose Shredder is worth quite a bit. I think Krang is still worth money, but I think Shredder is the one that's worth money. Oh my goodness, I am destroying this box, which I do not want to do. I'm trying to do it on camera. I'm just going to turn it up on its side here, just to cut the sellotape. Okay, the sellotape has now been cut. So let us see exactly what it looks like all together at the same time. Let's see what we get in the box. And it is stuck. It's unusual. There we go. Okay, so the box is just plain cardboard on the inside. So Nothing special there. This one we will be keeping in the box, unlike the best action one, because this one is viable. Let's take away the plastic packaging for the start, and we'll look at the back. So the back, this is clearly an image of the sewers, the turtle's home lair from the 1980s cartoon. So that's interesting. I think maybe they all just came with that, like regardless of which figure it was. Shredder, I can immediately see comes with the soft good cape, which will be very interesting. Comes with gel, do not throw away, silicone gel. Probably says do not eat and all that kind of stuff, the usual things that it says. So who are we going for first? We're going for Shrang for are we going for Shrang? No. Are we going for Krang or are we going for Shredder? I think we're going to go for Krang first because I think he will be the easier one to review. So do you just pop right out? Yes, he does. There is Krang himself. And of course he does not come with the android body. We will be getting the android body a little bit later on. He looks like he has a little bit of articulation, but there we go. It was a little bit stiff and I was worried. Oh my goodness. That is really cool. It's a really, really good looking version of Krang. You know, very, very accurate to the cartoon. Even the additional little like tendrils here at the side, which he did have. So it's very, very cool to see. It's interesting that they gave him the walker, you know, like what Krang had with the original 1987 figure, rather than coming with the actual android body. The android body came later, but maybe it's just so that Krang can go, Shredder, why have you not made me a body? That's the best Krang impression I can do. And I can only apologise for that because I'm sure it was absolutely horrible. So, let us get this. So this was the first little contraption that Krang was using while he was waiting for Shredder to actually build him his machine body. So let's see how this goes. It doesn't have any articulation on it whatsoever. So those are just 3 orbs. He does have a little base there. So I assume that this just clips on. And there we go. It sits there. Fits nice and easily. Just pushes in and then there we go. Very happy, very nice Krang. Cool. Very groovy. So let's get the Krang Walker out. We've got a little bit of these tassels, so let's take care of the tassels. I don't know if these tassel things have an actual name, the little pipe wire things. There we go. Of course, just to keep everything all nice and tight and secure in there. So one of the things that I am always very wary of, particularly when it comes to Neca, is that things can break very, very easily. So if something doesn't feel like it wants to bend, I'm not going to force it. Instead, I'll heat the joints up later off camera. So if there's anything that you see me not actually fully testing, it's because I don't want to, and that is the reason why. So there shouldn't be anything holding this down now, so this should just pop right out. Welcome to the ASMR segment of the show. Okay, we're going to put the legs up first, and there we go. There is the Krang Walker. The Krang Walker is actually pretty awesome. Let's just move this to the side. This is actually cooler than what I expected it to be. So the original 1987 Krang Walker, it didn't have the glass dome and it didn't have the little bits here. This is cartoon accurate, of course. It looks absolutely fantastic. We have a little mobility here. That's as far as it wants to go. I'm not going to push it any further than that. So it doesn't have that much bend. It looks like it could maybe bend a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it does that. It does have the swivel here. This one has the same swivel, and See, this is what I'm talking about. This doesn't really want to bend, so I don't really... Okay, no, we're good. Okay. That was not as bad as I expected. And also, these feet, I suppose, move as well. So, it's pretty cool. Maybe have it sort of like that. Generally, as a rule, when you're posing your figures, if you want to make them look more dynamic, you always want to have a little bit of a bend. Because if they just stand straight up, they don't look very realistic, is the correct word for that. So this, okay, so it is on a hinge, like here, and the inside actually looks just as amazing as the outside. It's actually been fully modelled on the inside as well, so that is very cool. I think that's cooler than this little thing. I'm afraid, Krang, we're going to have to take this off. So how do you fit in? I think what it wants us to do is it wants us to take these joints off here and then put them into there. Although I saw no instructions with this. I am just assuming that's what it wants us to do because I'm used to dealing with strong collectibles. There is no way that those hands fit through there. That must be what happens. Okay, so normally I don't do this, but I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to test this out. And if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And we're going to find that together. So please bear with me just a second. Okay, perfect. I got them. So the tendrils did just come out perfectly, and they come in a little black hinge part here. That, as you can see, it's got a whole little rotation joint. So that allows us to then fit Krang, who should be able to fit into his Krang Walker somehow. Almost. It's like a puzzle. He does right. So he perfectly fits, like exactly, and there we go. So that is pretty cool. And then these, I assume, will just clip onto the front here. There we go. It just with a little pop, it goes in, and the same with this one. And there we go. There we have the very, very cool Krang Walker suit. So that is actually very, very cool to see that. And, you know, you could actually have some pretty cool, you know, posabilities, you know, some movement with, you know, you can have even the foot the other way around as well. So that is very cool, actually. That's a lot cooler than what I expected it to be. Like, legitimately, I bought this figure exclusively for the Shredder, but I'm actually really, really pleased with how good this Krang looks as well. So that is very awesome to see that. Neca are always surprising. They're always high quality, they're always pretty good, apart from when stuff breaks, which does happen quite a bit. More than what it should for a high quality company, especially the price of some of these things. As we're now going to move on to the Shredder, I think the best thing to do is to release Shredder, Mr. Oroko Sake himself, first of all. So I did mention earlier that Shredder is my favourite character. When I was young, I don't think Turtles was on TV when I was young, but I had, oh hang on, we've got a bit of tape here, so I'm going to remove that so that it stops bothering Shredder's cape. When I was young, we had VHSs. There'll be a lot of people saying in the comments, what on earth is a VHS? A VHS is a very, very old version of a DVD. And for those of you who don't know what a DVD is, it's a very old version of Blu-ray. So, we had a VHS, and one of the episodes on it was called The Incredible Shrinking Turtles, which is one of the earlier episodes. And in that episode, Shredder has to fight the turtles by himself because Krang is refusing to give him anything from Dimension X. You know, he's refusing to give him his foot soldiers or Bebop and Rocksteady or any of that until Shredder can prove that he can defeat the turtles by himself. And in that episode, The Incredible Shrinking Turtles, Shredder takes on all 4 of the turtles, one after the other, and beats all 4 of them cleanly. Like, he doesn't necessarily cheat to win. He uses other stuff that's around the area. But Shredder just beats all 4 turtles. And ever since then, I was like, oh my god, Shredder's amazing. And that was what made me fall just in love with Shredder. You know, like, that was my favourite character from that point in the series. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I just knocked over Krang. Krang, you're going to have to sit off here, off camera, while I am unboxing Shredder. But ever since then, I always thought that Shredder was amazing. And in the 2003 series, they really doubled down on that, you know, that Shredder was, you know, like, the strongest of the Foot Clan and everything. And I always remember the 2003 computer game that the end boss was Shredder, but there was a secret boss that you could fight Oroku Saki, and Shredder's in his chamber, and he says that, did you know in the times of the samurai that when a samurai was about to fight properly, he would take off his armour so that he could move freely? And then the turtle says, so what does that mean? It says, that means the fight's only just begun, and you fight Oroku Saki without his armour on, and he is a lot stronger than, you know, Shredder going around with all the big heavy armour that he wore in the 2003 series. And that always seemed really, really cool to me, that they did acknowledge that Shredder is a master of ninjutsu, you know, that he did, you know, reach the pinnacle and become the head of the Foot Clan before he ever met with Krang and started, you know, getting into the diabolical schemes with him. So yeah, I've always really, really loved the idea of Shredder. So take him out of his thing, and there we go. There is the beautiful figure himself. So I don't know what's going on with this knee here. The knees are turned inwards, and the shin is on the side of his leg. So I really hope that that can be fixed. Oh yes, it can. Okay, right. So that is just the shin pad is just part of the shin. The leg does not want to twist. I am not going to force it. I've seen too many Neca figures broken at the hip. You know, so I will wait until we are off camera to fix that myself. It does move up and down. We do have a bit of rotation, but the thigh swivel is going to have to wait. So instead, until that point, we have this weird thing of Shredder's legs looking like this, which is just unfortunate that Neca are like that. Why are you like this, Neca? Our figures should be higher quality. We paid money for them. But there is worse Neca things that I've seen. I'm just flexing the elbow joints to make sure that they are all okay, that they aren't going to just snap on me. Okay, so the only problem I've got so far is this leg refuses to turn, which means that this knee is like this, and I don't want to force that because I can feel it fighting me on that one. So I'm just going to leave that as it is for just now. There's no waist or thigh swivel. The head is on a ball joint, but it barely moves up and down. Moves a tiny amount. It definitely moves more left and right. So there we are. Part of me knows how expensive the Shredder figure is and doesn't want to go screwing around with the thigh swivel too much. Let's try the shoulder joint. So the shoulder does move up. Can we get it to rotate out? Once again, it is fighting me. It is very, very stiff. So I might just leave that one. This one is more accepting. So we can see the shoulder does come out. It does extend that way. We do have the bicep swivel. Let's try this one again, but just not to break it. Yep, it's a little bit stiff, but it does work. So it just needs a little bit of flexing there. So a lot of people you'll see on YouTube, they'll heat their figures, they'll put them in, you know, hot water just to fix the joints and everything before they actually start doing this. I like to show off the figures as they come out of the box when I'm showing them off, which is the little different thing that I do. I play a much more dangerous game, which I probably really shouldn't. So nothing's broke on TV yet, or on video, so well, not that I'm on TV, I'm on YouTube, and hello YouTube. Let's now look at the accessories. If I can get into this. Right, so let's remove that sellotape. I think this is a Mutant canister. It is. That is the original cartoon version of the Mutant canister. So interestingly, it's got two colours. Like, you can see a big straight line down the middle where this area here is dark blue and the rest of it is light blue, and you can see very clear lines there. I don't know what that's about. The top of it isn't like that and the bottom of it isn't, but that is certainly a can of mutagen, unquestionably. Other accessories that he comes with, Shredder comes with his sword, which is strange because Shredder, from what I remember, very rarely actually uses a sword. He tends to use guns. He tends to shoot at the turtles a lot more than actually using a sword. So, at what point he starts using a sword, like, a lot, I'm not exactly sure. But if you do know, then let me know in the comments below. So of course the sword is a lot more detailed than what we had with the best action figures, which is to be expected because this is a much more expensive figure. It's got a lot more detail. It's got the black lines down the taping of it as well. Of course we've got the hilt, the little bit at the bottom, all nicely coloured. So I just realised that I've cut my finger from opening one of these packages. I don't know which one it was, but it happened. The other accessory that he comes with, which is all the way over here, has sellotape guarding it as well, is the communicator with Krang. And you can see that this is just a little sticker on the front of it, but it's pretty cool. It looks exactly... There it goes. It looks exactly like it did in the cartoon. This is exactly the ones that Krang gave people, like from Dimension X, and it also has all detail on the back of it as well. Now, a lot of these things, you know, they'll detail all the front of it, but they won't do anything with the back, so it's pretty cool to see both sides are actually given the proper treatment. And Oroko Saki himself comes with 2 additional hands. Oh, 2 additional sets of hands, sorry. It comes with 4 additional hands. Which I'm just removing the sellotape here. So we have the open grip hand, and we have 2 of those, so that you can have that for both of them. These are slightly different. These ones, these 2 fingers are brought down a little bit more, more of kind of like martial arts pose. Whereas this is more just a basic open hand grip. So that's interesting to see. And the last 2, I think, are going to be closed fists. Or they might be gripping hands. I think closed fists are actually on the figure. Yes, these are for gripping either a weapon or an item. And it is the same with this one. So the little claws, they're not actually hard plastic, this is actually soft plastic. So that's interesting to see. We can keep the packaging over to the side for just now. So, how do we want to pose Shredder? So, Shredder is right-handed, I believe. So the sword would go into this hand here, like so. And it does, very nicely, very easily. And it's got a good grip on it, so it can be done halfway through, you know. Sometimes if the hand isn't made properly, you know, the sword will slide through and you'll end up like gripping it like right up at the hilt, which you're not supposed to. Like halfway down is the way that it is supposed to be. We could also have him holding the little transceiver. Let's try that. Does that just fit in like so? Yep, just a little bit of strength. There you go. So you can hold the little thing. I don't think we're going to do that though. I think we're probably going to use this hand, the open hand, and then it's going to give us a bit of a cooler look for old Shredhead. So we just need to take off the hands carefully. It requires a little bit of pressure, which I'm very, very careful with. There we go. Oh. We're going to put in this hand here. This is more of a direction hand, you know, used for, you know, for guiding. And the second hand, we're going to take away the closed fist. I'm just going to pop that one off. Requires a bit of strength once again. Oh my goodness, it came off faster than I expected. And then we're going to equip the sword hand, like so. So then we can have Shredder, you know, sort of like directing what he's planning on doing, and then we can have the sword up like so. And again, I'll maybe pose the leg a little bit more off camera, so that the knee can go to the proper swivel point, but I think for the moment we're going to work with what we have and do something like that. So there we go, that is our wonderful Shredder, and we're going to place Krang next to him, of course, and you can see there that there is quite a height difference between Shredder and Krang. We're getting a bit of the sun coming in now. So let's compare him to the size of the turtles. The turtles are, of course, supposed to be quite a bit shorter. The turtles only come up to about the shoulder of April O'Neil. So I think the best action turtles do actually come to the kind of scale that is perfect for Shredder. Oh my goodness, he is fallen over. He doesn't have the best flexibility because the knees are like so. And if I could, oh my goodness, oh, the leg rotated. Okay, the leg rotated without having to worry about it breaking. So thank goodness for that. That means we can get into a slightly cooler pose. So let's remove the turtles for just now. They're just going to do a little bit of a size comparison just there, which now I can do something a little bit better. I'm going to try this leg. Oh, there we go. There, we got the little snap there. So now we can go into a slightly cooler pose. Now that we have the ability to bend the knees and the legs and such. So let's do something like this. The legs are still fighting me a little bit, but at least I can extend the legs a little bit more than what I could before. Oh my goodness, Krang. And Krang's fallen out of his little thing, so I need to readjust that, the Krang Walker. There we go. So I think if I do something like that, that should give Shredder a bit more of flexibility. and should give him a little bit more sturdiness. It should station the figure just a little bit more. So there we go, something like that. Get him to look at the camera for the gimmick. And okay, let's bring in, well, Donatello is standing upright. He's not leaned over. And there you can see the height comparison between Shredder and the rest of the Turtles. So yeah, I think it looks pretty damn good, actually. Of course, if you've got the Neca Turtles, they will be the correct size. But the great thing about Neca is that all the figures are the size that they are supposed to be. So if a figure is meant to be giant, then he will be absolutely giant. They won't make him, you know, small for the sake of fitting in with a line of like 6-inch figures, which is something that I've always really appreciated when things do actually take the time to think about things like that. So one last question for everyone. What does everyone think of the soft goods? I'm not a fan of it, but I know that there's a lot of people that are. I would prefer to have a plastic cape for Shredder rather than a soft good one. And oh my goodness, we need to fix the legs for him to stand properly. Give him a bit more stability. There, I think that looks good. And we'll put Krang facing the other way, and then we'll turn on the gimmick to let you all see before we close up the video. And we'll just rotate the camera up just a little bit so that we can see all of Shredder in all of his glory. So that is going to be it for this video, folks. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy this video, give us a like, share and subscribe, and if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these videos go up. And with that said, folks, I think that is us done. I'm going to wait for Shredder to come back around so that you get a full circle of him. And we will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.